morning, everybody. Welcome back. Now, maybe you don't realize I got the purple dress on today because it's going to be mild this afternoon, so I was thinking about going out. I don't really have to get anything today at the store or anything. I was just thinking if the weather would be decent enough that I could go outside and get a little bit of, like, Mitch one time wanted to get a colada and I never did because I accidentally took a wrong turn and I didn't actually get a chance to get up to Dunkin' Donuts. So, yeah. So I was thinking maybe I might go to Dunkin' Donuts today, but I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. It depends. Hello, Noodles. How you doing? So we had a good show last night, and some of you guys that never saw the documentary finally got a chance to see it.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, it was good for a lot of people because now, like Avoid and others have never seen it. Now they know a little bit about me and the backstory of who I am and why I'm here. Yeah. Noodles, I don't know who these people are. You have to understand. I'm not going to promote somebody I don't know. Okay? If you want to start putting links up here with a description, I can look at these people. I have to have an idea of who I'm promoting. You know? Kind of reminds me when you asked me to promote somebody who turned out to be not such a savory person. You know, I gotta be careful with that. I mean, I want to promote people, but I need to know who I'm promoting. That's key. You know, that also makes a lot of sense, too. You know, I gotta promote the right people. At least people I can verify or D like I think they are. If they're people I think they're decent quality people, then yes, I will promote them. Like I have been promoting G-Max Oregon. PDX Paranormal. Get Crystal Ray on piano. Okay, so I'll look at the channel to help learn the digital creative world, to document my program well, NNA. Let's see, what is this person? I create a channel to create the digital creative world, to document my progress while managing the self-sufficiency after survival of traumatic burn injury from August 21st, 2019. This is my journey. Is always perfect, but my beautiful disaster, traumatic burn injury. Oh, okay, I'll subscribe to her anyway. I will take a look at her. Well, I don't really know her yet. But we'll try to introduce people one person at a time. So, I noticed this connection is kind of noisy. Let me see something here. Yeah, you gotta get a little bit of corrosion in that XLR plug. Yeah, I'll spray some WD-40 in it a little bit of time. Which brings up an interesting reminder. WD-40 is not an oil. That's not what the purpose of WD-40 is. WD-40 is water displacement, which means it's more like it removes moisture from connections. Good morning, Red Pop. How you doing? Welcome to the show, everybody. I don't say she's not going to be back. I just said I don't know much about her. Good morning, Carolyn. I just checked out the channel. She appears to be a legit and a good channel. Yeah, she is. I did subscribe to her channel, so I'm going to check it out. Krista, good morning. How you doing? It's cleaner. Noodles again. Where's the description? I mean, you're just posting a link here. Please, guys, when you do post links, if you can at least add a description. It doesn't have to be an encyclopedia. A line of text like, this is John Doe's channel, link, blah. That way I know what it is, and that way I can go back to it. It helps me, it helps other people that are just wondering what the heck all these links are. For example, let's say I wanted to do something similar to that. Oh, actually, I do got an example of that. Here. There you go. Now, when you look at the web store, you'll notice it's not just a link. It actually says, come look at my web store. So then you know that the link that's following is telling you what it is you know ahead of time. So today is gonna be, I think it's today or it's tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, actually. It's going to be about 12 degrees Celsius, which is not bad. It's going to be a good day to get outside and wiggle and jiggle a little bit. And the weather is hospitable. You can see that most of the snow slush is gone. Little patches here and there. Not much of it, though. And the Giving Tree does have a few more entries on the bottom. We're going to need to figure out what we're going to do once we add a camera shot, because I got so many entries from yesterday that unfortunately I forgot to log them all. So I had to make one little tiny slip of paper just in the far corner that I can barely see it. It's right next to... Yeah, I can even barely see it. There is another entry for the people that donated from yesterday on the tree. I just don't have it. We need to work on the space issue. Space. The final frontier. Right, enough of it. So, we're going to try to curse Christy. Oh, Krista, okay. How you doing, Mojo? Welcome to the show. Yeah, so we're going to keep adding new people and stuff. Why is this one strap? This dress and another dress have the same problem with this. One strap goes off like that. And good morning. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm going to try an experiment with this entry. Let me go over to the donate page for a second. Thank you very much for the donation. What I want to do is... Okay. Command A. Command A for all. I'm going to try this experiment, okay? No, I don't need that screen. Okay, this one. Okay, hit copy. I'm going to try this experiment here. The reason I want to try this copy experiment is because yesterday I got so hornswoggled with donations that I absolutely had no idea where everybody was going. So let's see. Yes, convert. Yeah, that's fine. Well, it works. It's just kind of messy. Alright, so Carolyn Be Free is in the donation. I'll have to clean it up later on, but thank you for your donation. I really do appreciate it. I just gotta make sure to copy all that information at the end of the show so I can put it in there. Because there's so many that came in, so fast and furious yesterday that I absolutely could not keep up with it. It was like I was playing frisbee with a pitching machine. It was just like gee, what. And then I forgot to log all the entries in it yesterday, especially when Prime PC said he's sending me 8 things from my wish list, and it's like, oh, okay. And then I got like 20 pounds, $20 American, 20 pounds UK. I was getting a huge number of donations, and I just basically forgot to log everything before I quit. So then I wanted to go back and check the numbers. Once you close the session, it's over. You can't go back and go, oh, oops, sorry, that was, so now we can hear you. Well, why couldn't you hear me? I already make one on me at all times. I'm calling Biden. Says, Red Nose LMAO Nerdpub says, you are welcome. Says Carolyn Be Free. Gotta keep them coming. Oh, thank you very much, Nerdpub. Much appreciated again. There you go. Because sometimes the kitty doesn't come up, so I created my own local copy of the kitty. So if you wonder what that is all about, is if I see it and you don't get the kitty, because I know that unless in some cases you do and some you don't, I created my own local kitty. It does the same job. It's just this one. And then I could just switch over to the other screen again. That is if I don't forget which buttons I'm pressing. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for everything that you've done, and also please do watch the rerun from last night if you have not seen the documentary. It was really very popular. It only had like 10, 11 people, which I guess wasn't huge, but it was nice to see. Some people did not even know we had a documentary. Like, you can't see the links on the screen about the documentary. It's right there. Go to this link to watch I Am Snow Queen documentary. And that's really nice to have. But why does this strap do that? Because I think maybe it's too big. No, you got fucked up shoulders. Or both. Oh, I think it could be possibly some of both, but the dress is not too big, actually. Oh, you can always get the thing I've seen on TV that's designed for bra straps. You could maybe attach something like a piece of string or something in the back to kind of keep the straps together. I might try that because my bra straps got problems too. Your bras are actually all stretched out. You gotta get new bras too. Westy's outside right now. That he usually goes out in the morning. I can see if he wants to come in. Maybe he does. I don't know. Oh, because it's a nice day outside. He's not exactly gonna brush inside. Hold on, I'll check though. So just give me a minute. Rusty is not exactly orange. He's kind of a tan color or sandy color cat. Not really orange. Morris, my old cat, was orange. Or more orange. Not as warm out there as I thought. It's actually cooler. Must be a cold. I must be on the cusp of a cold front. So, there we go. So, Brian PC said he ordered 10 or 8 things from my wish list. I'm not sure what 8 things. But, Rusty's a boy cat. No, I used to have another boy cat named Morris. Trust me, Rusty did not go and have a sex change. He's basically still a boy cat. You can see his masculine badge in the rear. Yeah. Big boy cat. Good morning, Nads. How you doing today? Remember, Noodles, when I said, please give a description when you post links so people know what the hell you're posting a link to, because people may not just want to go to unknown links. Well, Rusty's right here. Let me get him on camera since he's right here with me. There you go. That's Rusty right there. I gotta fix this strap. You know what you do? Don't you do what you said? Why don't you just go ahead and just maybe take a piece of that stretchy stuff that you use in the lanyard here, and just, if you can find out where you put it all, and just cut a piece and then just loop it around the back. That way it'll keep your stuff together. That's true, that might work. Now, so, recording on. Alright. Strange, the cat does that. He knocks us offline. He rubs against the camera and then knocks the camera off. Yeah. So, Rusty, stop kissing the camera. Alright, we all know you love being on TV. So, where is... Wait, okay, there we go. Okay. We are still live. Yep, okay. So, yeah, so he's here. He's the kid, he's in the house. Big kitty. Big kitty. Big boy cat. So, Noodles, I told you, and until you do it, I'm going to have to basically, and this applies to everybody, please give a description along with the link. Don't just keep posting links because no one knows where they're going to. Okay. please don't just keep posting links because people don't know where they're going to. Then, it's so much better when you actually tell the audience. You can see Rusty knock my camera offline because I can't even see that one right now. I'll fix it later. Anyway, so did he unplug the plug? I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I'll fix it later. Anyway, so the cat's in the house. You can see that. Yeah, it's in the link. Okay, all I see is... Okay, Mojo Jojo. Okay. Alright, Mojo Jojo, yeah, I'm subscribed to her. But some people don't know how to look at URLs and get that kind of much details. So sometimes Noodles, a short, like a little description. If you're saying it's Mojo Jojo's channel, it just says there you go. Now you got it. That's exactly what I was talking about. Thank you very much for proving it. I don't know much about Sleazy Martin. I really don't know anything about the guy. What his interests are, anything. I don't know anything about him. See my IQ. I'm smarter than that. No, I didn't see your IQ, Blazing Leo. But remember, IQ is not necessarily... a single number cannot define a person's true intelligence quotient, or for the matter, emotional quotient, or EQ. A single number doesn't necessarily answer all questions. I got a pretty high IQ too, but it's Gmeet, and that link doesn't work here because we don't use it on this channel. We use it on the Kick only shows. Alright, so he wants to come up on the panel. Hold on a minute. Give me a second, please. It's Noodles. Where's your cursor? There it is. Answer it. I got it. Go ahead, Noodles.
Hey, Michelle. How are you? So, Michelle, this is what we want to do more of. We want to do more promoting of other channels, getting people involved with the channel. Their subscribers coming here. Crystal Ray, Michelle, is a extraordinary human being. She suffered, I think, about like 90% of her body's burnt or something like that.
Yeah, so I read.
She's a recovering drug addict, and she's doing a life journey on the recovery from the burns and also the addiction. She's only got 200-something subs, Michelle.
Okay.
This is someone I think that is going to explode if they actually keep to doing YouTube. And,
Well, the thing is that a channel needs to be engaging the audience. I don't know anything about her audience or anything about what topics she covers or nothing.
Oh, well, how about everybody go check her out, right? If she's decent, maybe we can reach out to her and get her up here. Maybe she's somebody that they'd want to hear you interview, And you got to do it too, Michelle. You got to go check out her story. Very interesting story.
I would say more than likely the tree will be a year-long thing, at least until the summer when me and Krista can better organize the storage bin and figure out where we're going to shove everything, because it's a little bit of a mess in there right now.
All right, guys, that's Crystal Ray. Crystal Ray on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, Michelle, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night on Getting Silly, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
It's Getting Silly.
And don't forget PDX husband J-Mac does Wee Woo Wednesdays at 5 o'clock Eastern Time.
Yeah, we all have a great time there. Great time there.
2 p.m. Pacific time. You could win coffee cards for Starbucks, which is in Seattle or Washington, is where it was based upon. Starbucks. Do you know that woman in the Starbucks logo is actually what they call a siren? Not a mermaid, a siren.
Right.
Those people didn't even know it's a mermaid. But she's a siren. Think of her as a mermaid with two tails.
So there was a hate crime that took place, or they're treating as a hate crime in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and it has to do with Starbucks. Do you want me to read you the article?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me look up some news articles for you, Michelle. Maybe we can get on a topic. Let's see. Ridgewood Starbucks. Hate crime.
Why would be a hate crime at Starbucks? Did somebody get too mad?
I'm sorry,
Glen
Rock, New Jersey. Okay, let's see. From 5 days ago, let's read the article. Glen Rock, New Jersey police in one New Jersey town are investigating what they have labeled a hate crime that appears to be related to the Israel and Hamas war. They said a Starbucks employee on Monday morning reported blood on the coffee chain sign on Rock Road in Glen Rock, New Jersey. However, as photos given to CBS News New York, the borough's mayor show authorities say it was actually splattered with red paint and it wasn't blood. Okay. Police said they also discovered anti-Semitic stickers related to the Israel-Hamas war on the sign's post. Starbucks responded immediately. I can't praise them enough for their responsiveness. They had their contractor removing the sign in record time, Glen Rock Police Chief Dean Ackerman said.
Okay. But first of all, let me just say one thing here. Hate crime is not cool. Oh, yeah! In fact, it's very disrespectful. But at least the police did respond in a timely manner. Other than saying, leave a message, we'll get back to you when we're ready. Yeah.
So you know what's crazy? This is what's crazy about this whole thing. Like, you can't be against Israel in this war, or else you're considered anti-Semite, right? And you got people fully supporting out in the open terrorist organizations. They're running around with their stickers, their flags, all this stuff. I'm telling you, this is very, very dangerous, guys. The Jews and the Muslims are being very dangerous right now. Thank you, Michelle.
By the way, AOC in a town hall in her home district got razzed by Democratic voters that said, all you want is illegals to vote because all you're worried about is voting illegals. You're not interested in the people that reside in your district. And she really didn't know what to say about that because she was totally embarrassed it was her own people that were complaining about this. So, a lot of blowback for the Democrats right now.
All right, Michelle, we got two other articles. Trump claims Black Americans relate to his criminal prosecution, or suspect in University of Georgia killing didn't know victim.
Okay.
Which one?
I don't know. Good question.
Trump or the hot girl from Georgia University that was murdered?
Oh,
go
so
ahead. It's your show. What do you want?
A detention center in, let me make sure I got this right. I think it was in California. Okay, I'm not sure exactly information. I will look up later on. I do have it in my Discord. Was forced to release illegals into the public because they're so overcrowded. And some people said that the operations managers of the center said they had to release the illegals into the public street because they were overcrowded. Why do you think we are having so many food recalls in our country? Because the sad truth is that quality is not going in before the name goes on. In other words, because people want lower cost food, companies are trying to cut corners to make food cheaper. Because it means that the cheaper they can make it, the more money that they can make is profit.
Michelle, a San Diego migrant center announced it will be forced to close its doors Thursday after running out of funds to assist the overwhelming numbers of asylum seekers who have illegally crossed into the country. The mayor of nearby California, told Fox News yesterday that he fears the Welcome Center's closure will quickly become a serious problem for his community. Absolutely. Over the past few months, we've seen 100,000 migrants come across, in a few months, 100,000 people, illegal aliens, come across the San Diego border. Mayor Bill Wellings told Fox and Friends First. A lot of those who have been absorbed by this county shelter that use taxpayer money, they asked for $3 million and they spend over $6 million, and now they say they're out of money. So we're going to see migrants congregating in our streets. So basically, they don't have any more money.
Yeah,
it's double the price.
They're running out of money, and they're also running out of space. They don't have any place to put them all.
Well, this is the problem. They hiked up the price on everybody living in the United States, right? So that means the cost of everything goes up.
Right.
So now, not only do we have to pay double, but for these organizations to keep running and getting their product and feeding these people, it's costing them double too.
And
the government don't want to pay up.
Also for the manufacturing, they're trying to save money so they can, cut their costs, which means that sometimes they're skimping on the quality. And then that's why this food recalls, because they're not maintaining the quality health practices that they should be.
Right.
That's part of the whole problem. And I do think that Joe Biden is not doing enough to actually deal with the issue.
Michelle, a new survey out of California shows Gen Z and millennials souring on the benefit of immigrants to their state. California illegal immigration numbers have risen for 3. Oh, God damn it.
Right.
The thing jumped on me. Hold on. Oh, my God. Forget about it.
But anyway,
3 consecutive years, from approximately 260,000 in the financial year of 2021 to 362,000 or 450,000 in the year 2022, or from 2022 to 2023. That's a lot of people, Michelle.
I know that's a lot of people, but of course they're going to be sorry to it because they realized that it's not helping the community at all. It's stressing it. It's really stressing the community a lot.
Michelle, they're saying 11,000 alone. 11,000 alone just in January.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. And that's to California.
Yeah. And that was the one that originally had a big welcome mat for all the illegals. And now that's no longer the case because they're just like the other border states. They're like, oh, you know what? We can't do this anymore. We can't absorb any more of these people.
That's insane. These people are fucking crazy, Michelle.
Well, I
crazy.
think the millennials are starting to realize is something that the large majority of their older generations have been saying is we can't absorb this.
No, they can't.
No.
That's what they're saying. And these Gen Zers and Xers are now feeling the bite. They're not getting their friggin', they're cutting their friggin' their schooling, everything like that.
Oh yeah, and schooling, and they're getting screwed in the schooling. Generation Alpha, which is children under 13 years of old age, do not even know how to properly read or write.
You know what's crazy about this? All these kids that are going to college, they go to college and they're usually the ones that are working these jobs.
Right.
To make supplemental income, just to get by. They're getting their grants. They're making some extra money on the side. Now they can't do it because you got 360,000 people that are fighting for now for that same job that nobody wanted before. It was just for college students and kids in high school.
Absolutely. Yep. Exactly. And that's the problem when you start bringing in all these illegals. They need jobs too.
11,000 guys in 1 month in one state. It's a lot of people without jobs. That is a lot of people without jobs. Wow.
Well,
in 1 month, can you imagine if in Connecticut they released a jobs report in Connecticut and said that 11,000 people lost their job just in January?
Oh, I believe it. There's a lot of reasons why that would be. The first thing is that Connecticut is just as bad as California when it comes to spending money. And in fact, Connecticut's also a sanctuary state like California is. They're just not on the border with Mexico. But if you look at what has happened, we're still getting our influx of illegals from New York City. Because they come up here, from New York City looking for a place to live. Because New York City is crowded. New York City's own residents are migrating out of New York City.
Michelle, how many people live in the state of Connecticut?
I don't know what the population is right now.
Let me see.
Okay, Spitfire, the Dragon TV lore, and said the sad part is that we can't encourage these Central American countries on how to improve their own people's lives.
Michelle, the current population of Connecticut, as of 2021 was 3.606 million people.
Okay.
Do you know how many people entered the country illegally since the Biden administration started? That's coming up on 4 years.
I don't know.
Do you know how many?
I don't know how many illegals came in here, but
7.2 million. 7.2 million.
So basically 2.25 states of Connecticut came into this country.
Yes, in the past 4 years. Illegally.
Yeah.
Seeking asylum. Yeah. So guys, just for the record, all right, this cannot be sustained.
No.
The world is bigger than the United States.
I mean, it's the same things happening in the UK too. They got their own migrant problem. They're got the same problem we do, and it's just as acute in the UK.
Okay, so basically, as of 2021, more migrants, illegal immigrants, have come into the United States than Massachusetts and the Rhode Island population combined.
Yep. So
that's crazy.
Why don't we send them and put them on Elon Musk's spaceship and send them to Mars?
Maybe. Michelle, I don't know what's going on.
Because he can't.
Very,
because
very
people
crazy.
need to pay to get on the ship, Michelle. They don't have money. Oh. TT. What is that?
Okay. Nearly 7.3 million. Okay, this is going to be crazy. This is just on the southern border. Nearly 7.3 million migrants have illegally crossed the southwest border under President Biden's watch, a number greater than the population of 36 individual states. That figure comes from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which has already reported 961,000 border encounters in the current year, which runs from October through September.
Really?
That's a humongous problem. And you know what, guys? People like Michelle, you'll eventually feel the bite of this. They're going to take away money from you. They're going to take away a lot of things. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Me dealing with it is a lot different than Michelle, or someone who someone who has a job versus someone who can barely walk.
Speaking of jobs, the most popular job potential for Generation Alpha, which, as I said, is children under 13 or 13 and younger, is YouTube influencer or TikTok influencer. That's their dream jobs. However, teachers have pointed out that these kids cannot read, cannot write, are rude, obnoxious, and think that they know everything. And they do not respect adults.
Oh my God, Michelle.
What?
Wow, did you hear about this in Winstead?
No.
Former Winstead Board of Education, hold on, let me X out of this, hold on. Member arrested for having sexual relations with teen girl. No,
I didn't see that, but I wouldn't be too surprised. Winstead's like a small town. It tends to have a lot of small town strange stuff. They're coming here for a free ride. Get real. No shit. Yes, Spitfire, I find it heartbreaking. Spitfire had said, yes, Mojo, they're running away from their countries to escape persecution, crime, and the fighting to protect their families. And what they're going to is a place that's still got corruption, persecution, and crime. So what are they gaining? Like, risking their lives to cross the border illegally. They're not benefiting from anything. So what are they benefiting from? It doesn't make any sense.
Michelle, this is a big story in your town.
About with the teen. No, I didn't hear about it until now. So, but I guess it would be a big story in a way. So, in short, what happened? Okay, so this person was fired from their job because of his inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to read it because I don't want to get in trouble.
They don't even have good health care. We need people with money to sponsor these families so they can get the help, life-saving health issues of the kids and themselves. But people can't afford to buy their own health insurance right now for themselves. Never mind sponsoring somebody else's health care. Oh, yeah, I read it happened to Rome, it'll happen to America, yes. Rome was rotting from the inside. America is doing the same thing. Yeah, well, still, it's like I said, America is on the decline. The modern civilization is on the decline. But you know what? We can change that. But it ain't easy. First thing we gotta do is we gotta get these people to understand one thing. It's no better over here than when it was in your country. it's time that you have to start taking initiative in your own countries to make changes. Because running away from your own country to solve your problems ain't gonna help us.
Oh yeah!
We have laws here in this country where they don't, in those countries. Then they need to contact their government to make those laws a thing over there.
Michelle, did you know a woman named Liz Kozik? I guess she was someone kind of famous in your town that just passed away on February 18th. Elizabeth Liz Louise Kozik, age 33 of Winsted, passed away on Sunday, February 18th, 2024, peacefully at home with her loved ones. She was born on February 22nd, 1940, in Silver Lake, the daughter of Peter and whatever.
Right.
I think they're Polish. On October 13th, 1962, Elizabeth Liz Polak and Leonard Kozak were joined in holy marriage at St. Alberta Catholic Church in Silver Lake.
Okay.
God blessed their marriage with their daughter Lori. Liz was a cook at Cool It and employed at Deco Sewing Company. Where the hell is this crap, Michelle?
Yeah, I don't know anything who she is, but she lived a long life.
Yeah, well, I mean, 83. That's pretty long. 83 years.
Yeah, it is.
You think about it. I mean, it's not that long, right? I mean, that's like another 40 years for me. It's not that long.
Another 30 years for me.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's not that long.
No, it's not.
Shit.
Remember what Cat Stevens said, you're only dancing on this earth for a little while.
Yeah.
You know.
Wishbone, can you shut the fuck up, please? Shut up.
Yeah. Hi, Spitfire. Of course, 11P says, I am an independent voter. I'm a Republican voter. But I have been known to swing vote once in a while. But, yeah, I mean, 85 years. I mean, it's funny because, as you know, healthcare in the United States is not as what it was. At one time, healthcare was the best in the world. Now it's only available for those who can afford it, which is kind of sad because a lot of people that need the healthcare can't get it. In the UK, your taxes paid for the National Health Service. So they understand in the UK, the healthcare is a right, not a privilege, which is important because they want people to be happy and healthy. But unfortunately, we all know that the National Health Service is a great program, but it's not without its problems. Like the Veterans Administration, they have a lot of people in the system and a lot of quality doctors and a lot of bad doctors too. It says, Mojo says, great, that was great at parties. Rep and the police. That's right, you guys. The police were established in the UK in 1848. That was when the Bobbies came into existence. Time flies like crazy when you're old. Sometimes. But it is an interesting test has been done. Actually counting, say, to 1 to 20, showing you're counting, if you're asked to count 1 to 20 is seconds. Not when I'm looking at a watch, but just counting. By the time you get to be a certain age, you're actually counting too fast. When you're a kid, you're counting your perceived seconds are too slow. So think about that. So I guess you can figure out a person's age by how fast they count to 10 or even 20. Let me try it. Someone get a stopwatch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So if you count out that, and you actually then compare it with your watch, I can tell you about how old you are based on how far off your perceived second count is with the actual seconds. Okay. So,
Michelle, you want to read a cannibal article?
What's that?
You want to read a cannibal article?
I maybe So
No?
the question is, how fast did I count? How fast or slow was I counting?
A Russian cannibal and a satanic cult that slaughtered 4 teens, beheading and partially eating 2 of them, has been pardoned by President Vladimir Putin after fighting against Ukraine in a notorious unit of convicts.
Okay.
They sent this convict over, this cannibal convict over to Ukraine. That's crazy. Nikolai Ogolagla, 33, was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2010 for really? He got only 20 years for decapitating and eating 4 people?
Right.
Wow. Okay. 20 years in prison, 2010 for murder and desecrating corpses over a series of horrifying ritual murders that rocked the region, where then teenager was known as Count. That was his nickname, Count. Count and the other Satan worshippers, including one nicknamed Hitler, that was another worshiper, beheaded 2 of their 4 victims, then cut out their hearts and tongues, which they then fried and ate, court documents showed.
Okay.
Count, the guy named Count, also stabbed another victim 666 times, in an apparent nod to the so-called number of the beast associated with Satan.
Ugh.
He was scheduled to be released in 2030, but I can't imagine being like, yeah, we'll release you in the future. Don't worry about it. I mean, you just ate somebody, stabbed a bunch of people 666 times, and we will find you good in 2030.
You said right now he's serving in a unit fighting against the evil Ukraine.
Right. So now he's free. He's pardoned. And they're showing the girls right now. I don't think these girls deserved it, but again, I don't know. The Count, and some guy named Hitler from Russia. Great story. Thank you, Putin. Adorable critter gets cannibalized after sex in first ever pic of the bizarre mating ritual. Oh wow.
What?
Yeah. So I guess there's some kind of like rat creature. It looks like a rat mole thing. They literally go out with a bang, meeting the Australian. It's some Australian possum.
Okay.
Or something like that. It's a marsupial known for its killer sex protocol and then being cannibalized so the other can resume romping. The Hannibal Lecter of animals' hanky-panky habits were outlined recently in the Journal of Australian Mammalogy. Zoologist published the first ever photo of a male feasting on a fellow of his species, taken in August 2023 at a point lookout in New England National Park, a haven for these suicidal sex machines. While cannibalistic behaviors have been reported in some of these animals, it's very rare to observe it in the wild. Associate Professor Andrew Baker from Queensland University of Technology told Southwest News Service. Wow.
Yeah.
Cannibal possums.
Doesn't sound like a good way to keep your population strong, no?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of weird. Same thing with spiders too. I think the male spider will be killed by the female spider. I mean, she'll carry his gametes, but so she can lay many eggs, but he dies very quickly at the mercy of the female spider during reproduction. So now, as far as things that are more exciting, is that we're seeing. I'm glad to see that some of the Democrats are starting to wake up to the bullshit. Like I said, at a town hall in her district, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez was verbally attacked by her own voters, saying to her, all you're interested in is illegal people to come into this country and vote for the Democratic Party. Well, us here in your district are struggling. You don't seem to care about us. Something tells me Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez is going to be out of a job soon. Because if that's true, that she is so concerned about getting illegals to vote, that she doesn't give a crap about her own people, the people in her district are going to tell her where to go, and that's it. She's gone. That's over. And I should tell you something, guys, especially for a politician. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Oh, yeah! The guys that are the one that puts you in there, they'll take you out.
Michelle, the first documented case of cannibalism in a bizarre case of bones found in South Africa from 1.5 million years ago. Michelle, scientists have discovered that people have been eating people for over 1.5 million years.
Yeah.
And it started with the blacks.
It's not surprising. Really isn't. Times are lean, and when times are tough, Grandma looks pretty tasty. It just is a reality.
It's a crazy story.
I think in the case of Ocasio-Cortez, I think she just needs to resign. Admit that she has been a colossal failure since she actually won her district as a congresswoman. She's out of touch. And so are a lot of the others of the squad. They all are out of touch. Right now, this country needs to finally get some people in power that are balanced in, focusing on actually keeping up with the American needs. And that includes getting rid of people that don't actually encourage positive actions. So, yeah. It's just something to think about. You know. So, all these illegals came into this country, United Nations, and Pueblos Sin Fronteras also encouraged this. And yet, the sad truth is, when President Trump was in office, he instituted positive changes to help keep things under control, such as Remain in Mexico, built the wall. It was almost done. There was just a little bit left of the wall, and Biden stopped construction, ended Remain in Mexico, reinstitute catch and release. And the sad truth is, Biden's administration policies, never mind his administration policies on immigration, what about economics? His fiscal policies have been a colossal disaster as well. Good morning, Andrew. How you doing today? Welcome. Panel's open. IDN is the link. IDN is the link. If you want to come up, Andrew. Welcome to the show this morning. Oh, I know. No one cares. So, hey Michelle, even how you doing? Yeah. Welcome to the show today.
Oh, Michelle. You want to know an interesting fact?
What's that?
To consume a human body in the United States, to actually commit cannibalism, is not a crime in the United States. You just need a permit for it. So basically what they're saying is, in the United States, there are no laws against cannibalism per se, but most of, if not all, states have enacted laws that indirectly make it impossible to legally obtain and consume the body matter. Murder, for instance, is likely a criminal charge regardless of, yeah. So
that's been part of the penal code, cannibalism or not.
Right. So they basically say that it's not illegal. If you do it, it's not illegal. They're not putting it down. But what they're saying is that they will never give you a permit to obtain a human body for consumption. There's no state in the union that will give you that.
What if a person
permit
actually, with their consent, say, "When I croak, you can eat me"? Then
the state would have to okay it, and they're saying no. So basically what they're saying, again, in the United States, and this is coming from Law Cornell EDU, they're saying in the United States there are no laws against cannibalism per se, but most, if not all, states have enacted laws that indirectly make it impossible to legally obtain and consume the body matter.
Okay.
So if you kill someone, you eat them. It's not illegal. If you're in the woods, Michelle, and someone's dying, you're starving, and all you got is a dead person next to you, they're saying they're not going to charge you with a crime.
Right, but if for doing murder one, they'll charge you.
Yeah, if you murder someone and eat them, yeah. If you buy someone and eat them, they'll probably prosecute you.
Right. So
for buying and consuming a human being without a permit.
Yeah, Red unfortunately has a habit of getting into stuff that I don't really think fits. Red, take a break, please. Just take a break. Like, I can time you out for a bit, but I don't want to do that. Just take a break. No one wants to hear about the stuff that you're talking about, okay?
Yeah, you're boring, Red. Go, hey, Red, why don't you go hang out with Big Steve Excrement? Go hang out with Big Steve Excrement and get away from the goddamn Apex community.
Well,
Michelle, more Americans willing to try cannibalism than veganism, new study finds. You want to read this?
No. I mean, why would he want to do it? That's the question. What does the Bible say about that, Mr. Reverend Pasta? What does the
Okay,
Bible say
you want
about
to go over some
cannibalism?
verses? Like, what exactly do you want to know?
What does the Bible say about cannibalism?
Well, I'm sure, hold on. We'll check this out, Michelle. Let me get some scriptures ready for you. And again, this is coming from Reverend Noodles, 1980. Cannibalism of bodies, and even that seems too mild of a term, for cannibalism never maintained farms of human bodies to be harvested. This shows where things can be led once men begin to violate Bible standards, including its prohibition of taking the blood of another creature into one own's body. That's
Right.
Deuteronomy 12:23, Acts 15:28-29.
Right, we know that the Jehovah's Witnesses are against blood transfusions, for example.
Well, you're not supposed to. Okay, according to Deuteronomy 12:23, you can't drink the blood of an animal.
Right.
You can't consume the blood of an animal. So, as far as eating human beings, I
was supposed to go into the same thing because, in essence, aren't you also consuming the blood of another creature? Yes. And also, isn't it desecrating the dead? Yes. I think. So I think even though it's not specifically spelled out in the Bible, respect to the dead is kind of interesting. Andrew, Michelle loves to punish me for not pulling punches. Right now, I mean, he was being transferred. Okay, I'm trying to get pieces of the conversation, understand what's going on ages ago. Okay, but still, I think if you just go by Deuteronomy alone, in essence, consuming of the blood would also mean consuming of human flesh and consuming of animal flesh or anything where blood is involved.
Well, again, you got to remember that after the flood, God gave Noah the go-ahead to start eating animal flesh, and that was it.
Right.
Never human.
That's true. Whereas at the time, Noah was given the right to have his first barbecue with his family. For the reasons that you and I both understand, that there was just not a lot of food available after the floodwaters had subsided.
Let's read Genesis 23:1-4. I am a foreigner and a settler among you. Give me property to serve as a burial place in your midst, so that I may remove my dead for burial. So it's basically saying there that all the dead must be buried.
Right.
All the dead must be buried, and he's giving you land to do so.
Right.
He's giving you property. He's giving you all these things to bury your dead, not consume them. So that's one. There's just nothing in the Bible about God telling you to eat the flesh of human beings.
Right, but we also want us to respect the corpses.
Right.
What does the Bible say about cremation, though? All right, so who else wants to come up on panel? It is Andrew Scott. One moment, Andrew, I'll get you on here. Admit one, please. Go ahead, Andrew. How you doing today? He's getting his microphone ready. Playing games at this age. Speaking of that, I still kept my European membership on the Blizzard. I forgot to suspend that one. So maybe I can play some World of Warcraft in the EU servers later on today. I said hi to Andrew, but his microphone's still muted. So
I can hear me now.
there you go. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Can you turn up your microphone a little bit?
Huh?
Says you're a little soft. Noodles is a little loud. So trying to find volume that fits me, that doesn't make me even more deaf in the process.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay. No, I can't really hear you. Unfortunately, you're still soft.
I'll probably have to jump into PC.
It's a little better now.
Okay. You guys okay today?
What's that? We're doing okay, yeah. But is there any way you can still turn it up or put your microphone, your mouth closer to your microphone?
It's as close as it can
Okay.
get, to be honest.
Okay.
So that's why I'm thinking I might.
Yeah, that's better. Now it's picking up the volume. So what have you been up to so far?
Well, decorating for a start. After getting back home from England, and
Okay, decorating.
I'm decorating my main bedroom at the moment.
Oh. You were doing your main bedroom?
Yeah. So I'm almost there.
Okay.
It's so tiring, especially on top of everything else. But last night I had a bit of a blowout, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, everything that I'm reading about burial versus cremation, according to the Jews, cremation is a pagan practice.
Well, it is. The Romans did it. They saw the body as burning the body. It's just like burning the animals on an altar.
Yeah, so they're saying, I guess the pagans used to do it to release the soul or whatever. The Jews used to put all their deads into like caves and taverns, like kind of like a tomb.
Caverns, yeah.
Back in the day, kind of like where Jesus was placed.
So then why is cremation one of the most popular burial techniques? If it is considered for most people to be...
According to 1 Sam 31:12 and 13, faithful David did not consider their burning the corpses of shameful. It was part of a respectful disposal. Okay, so there are things of the Jews actually burning their dead to be respectful. There was a lot of bodies, I guess, and they set them on fire instead of burning them.
Yeah.
That was the Jews, So again.
So in other words, that's needed, guys.
Yeah.
If you got like after a major conflict or battle, you don't have time to bury everybody. So
Michelle.
Yeah.
Are you guys all into that stuff? Do you believe or not in all that nonsense?
Wait, you talking about the Bible or?
Well, I don't believe in that either, but I meant like when I go, I'm 40 years old, right? But when I go, I want to be blasted off into a space rocket and exploded, and everyone to laugh and cheer.
I wonder how much that would cost, to be honest with you. I don't
That's
know.
expensive.
But don't trust me, I've got quite a bit put away for it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's even legal to throw dead bodies into space. You can't even put space junk out there. It's illegal. You'll become junk.
Yeah, but I think they did with Gene Roddenberry. They put his ashes in space.
Yeah, Elon Musk put a car out in space too, so I guess you can do that.
Yeah, I think it's a viable option, shall
Yeah, it's too bad that the car that's out in space will just be out there forever, pretty much.
I mean, you don't decompose in space, right?
Nothing decomposes in space. There's no oxygen.
I guess. Yeah, but everything would die. Even anything that was going to break you down.
Yeah.
You turn into a pickle.
Well, it's absolute zero in space, so you certainly would be hot.
Those sort of figures.
I think the only thing that could survive out in space or outside of our atmosphere are those like microscopic bear worms or whatever the hell they call them. I think they released about 1,000 of them in orbit on some shuttle, and they brought it back. I think like 90% of them were still alive.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So Spitfire says, I think they got some Star Trek actors in space as well. Yeah.
And if they dumped you in honey, you wouldn't decompose either, right?
I wouldn't want to be buried, because to me, burial is taking up too much of the.
I think it's just I don't think bacteria can grow or anything like that. Honey, it's impossible. Honey is like honey can last for 1,000,000 years.
That's notification. It's called nullified.
Really? Oh yeah, you can amplify a man. Really?
Tissue by gradually dehydrating by jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, and conspiracy person says it's a conspiracy. I don't know, guys. I think there's so many things that we don't know about much about what would happen to your body in space. Obviously, because all the space junk whizzing around the Earth, you'd be just around the Earth at one of the Clark points.
Right.
I could just imagine the ex-archaeologists wondering why there were dead bodies floating in space.
Michelle, maybe when you pass, I can get like one of your fingers. I'll just keep it in a jar of honey.
I'm sorry, you're not going to venerate my body as a saint. It's not. Really, it's creepy. I don't like the thought about doing that.
Oh, there's tons of creepy stuff, Michelle. It's not really as creepy as people think.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, people are scared of death, but no, it's just natural process.
It's people are not necessarily scared of death, but yeah, there are people that definitely don't want to be prolonged in some medical institution with machinery and tubes plugged into you, and you're looking like some kind of Frankenstein experiment.
Andrew, what is your sin? Like, how are you a sinner? I'll look it up and we'll go over some Bible scripture about why you shouldn't do that.
I'm not a sinner because I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in Christianity.
Are you like are you gay? Are you an alcoholic? Are you a drug addict? Are you a thief? Are you a murderer, etc.?
I'm an atheist.
Okay, so let me put in non-believer.
Atheist. Okay, that's fine. Remember, atheism is a faith system too, Andrew. You know that, right?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely agree with that. Yes.
How do you spell atheist?
Are human beings and caring ones as well, and do a lot for society.
ATHEIST.
Atheist. ATHEIST. Atheist. I had to look at the closed captions to get the spelling on that one.
I'm an atheist in terms of thinking there's some sort of like person that created you, because that obviously did not happen. We've now been proven, we came from primates. I'm just saying how I feel. I mean, I don't have any problem at all with anybody else's views on.
Yeah, they're basically saying that like atheists are not haters. They're not whatever. They just haven't seen any evidence, right? So,
right. So
for instance,
their faith systems that they do not believe God exists.
Right, because of evidence, like it hasn't been presented to them, etc.
That's convincing, right?
It's called common sense, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, so for instance, a scientist, right? A scientist will say there's no evidence of it. We haven't found it yet. He's not saying it doesn't exist. That's how atheists are. They're saying that they haven't found the evidence yet.
Stars and ghosts and stuff like that. And it's the same thing. Easter Bunny, Santa Claus.
Yeah. So let's see what it says about.
I ain't seen no Santa.
Well, we can't deny the existence of Santa Claus because we do know the history of Santa Claus, St. Nicholas.
Yeah,
The Easter Bunny, however, was a pagan symbol at one time. So, yeah, I don't think there really was a little bunny that basically was handing out eggs. That's a pagan thing. That was representing the new life that was springing forth and when spring came in. That happens during Easter. That's my season. When my season comes to an end, is when Easter comes in. The Easter Bunny starts showing up. In fact, you already got Easter candy on the store shelves or CVS. That's all like a couple days ago.
Andrew, do you consider yourself a modernist or a fundamentalist?
None of those.
I'm trying to see where you would fit in. So, like, tell me exactly what you believe.
I think I know what he believes.
Well, he's right here. You can ask him. Like, what exactly do you believe?
Because he has not seen any conclusive concept or research that shows God
but does he believe
real.
That there's a possibility? Does he believe whatever? Because he might not be an atheist. Because atheists say they just don't know. Andrew might be just saying that he knows for sure.
Agnostics are the ones that have to say they do not know, but are willing to least. They can't confirm
Andrew, what I'm saying is
deny.
Andrew might not be what he claims he is. That's my point. So, Andrew, what do you believe? Go ahead, Andrew.
He's listening. I think he's thinking, but I don't know what he's thinking. Andrew, we asked you a question. You're still there. He accidentally unplugged this microphone by mistake or something. So, I mean, let me answer the question. When you listen to some of the other famous atheists, they say...
So atheism is not an affirmation of belief that there is a God or no God. It just basically says that the questions haven't been answered. It's simply a rejection of assertion that there are gods. Atheism is too often defined incorrectly as a belief system. So Andrew might not actually be what he claims he is. He might be mistaken. Right. So Andrew, what do you believe, Andrew? Go ahead, Andrew.
He left. He left the panel.
Yeah, it's funny. All these atheists, they claim that they're atheists. They're not atheists. They don't even know what they are, Michelle. That's how wickedly confused someone like Andrew is to claim that he's an atheist. He doesn't even know what it is.
Well, they also got another group called agnostics.
Okay, let's look up the definition of agnostics.
Yeah, look
and that's
up
with
agnostic.
an A. Okay, agnostic. A person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence of the nature of God or of anything beyond material. So basically they're saying that it's a belief that, and they're confident about this, that there is no, that nothing is known or can be known of the existence of God.
Right. Because
it's impossible. They believe in the impossible.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So again, you got a lot of these people out there running around with either drug addictions, mental issues, etc., claiming that they're atheists. They don't even know what they are. Atheist, agnostic, whatever sounds good to them,
Well, I still think in their own way they still believe in a higher power. It's just that it's not one of the dogmas. It's not one of the necessary organized churches, which is a little different because we don't really talk much about that, which is what if What if there is a God, but you don't believe in the concepts of what the churches teach you? I mean, me, for example, the fact of the matter is that my faith system is so different. People don't really, they never say to me, "Oh, Michelle, then you must not believe because you don't believe in necessarily going to a church." No, that's dogma. But because I do believe in God. I mean, I am a devout Catholic. I'm a Catholic convert, but I still believe in God. I still believe in Jesus. I still believe in the church. I still believe in the magisterium. But I don't necessarily believe that the church is the end-all, be-all, one-stop shop. Okay.
So, Michelle, there was an article written by bigthink.com, and they talk about the three types of atheism. Broadly speaking, atheism can be in three varieties: the non-religious, okay, the non-believer, and the agnostic. The agnostic.
Okay, so
let's see what Wikipedia says about atheism.
So what is the non-religious one, though?
So I guess the non-religious one hasn't picked a belief system. You know what I'm saying? They believe. So I think most atheists believe whatever can be proven to them. So, for instance, they believe that way science puts something out with these findings, right? Even though in 20 years from now it could be proven wrong, that's what they believe in.
Okay,
they believe in that at the time, and
so
if they can't find any,
saying is "show me the money."
Right.
Seeing is believing kind of mentality.
Yeah, they don't care if it's incorrect or not. They're just going with the flow, and they're going to believe whatever science says today. Kind of like how there are all these layers on planet Earth, and it turns out there's really only two.
Yeah.
Atheism is the broadest sense in an absence of belief in existence of deities. Less broadly, atheism is a rejection of the belief that any deities exist. In an even narrow sense, atheism is specifically the position that there are no deities. Atheism is contrasted to theism, which is the most general form, is the belief that at least one deity exists. So that's what atheism is.
So does it give you a headache, though? What do you think about it?
It's a bunch of babies crying. It's a bunch of babies crying, saying, I don't believe that. I'm going to try to make it really complicated for you to understand."
Well, actually, I can kind of understand it to a point. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, let's think about something that has nothing to do with God at all. Let's say I told you that there was a thing called a credit card. And you can basically, assuming you were a person that didn't know about these, right? And this plastic card gives you a loan money you can use to buy stuff. And you never ever saw a credit card in your life. You would say, I don't believe you. I don't believe there's such a card. Right? There's atheism for you. They're saying, show me. Show me. I want to see the proof. So that once you show them the proof, they say, well, go. Guess what? It's proven. It's proven that credit cards exist. Because I'm seeing your MasterCard sitting on your table. So that's the way atheism is. It's just that. Is if you show me the existence and I can see it with my own two eyes, then it is so. That's the way they think. Which I understand that very well. In fact, a lot of scientists think the same way. Now, you could tell me about the Easter Bunny, you could tell me about Santa Claus, but can you show me Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny? As if you can, then maybe I'll believe you. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. It makes sense.
Michelle, 51% of scientists believe in some form of deity or higher power. Specifically, 33% of scientists say they believe in God, while 18% believe in universal spirit or higher power. 95% of Americans believe in some form of deity or higher power, according to the survey of the general public conducted by the Pew Research Center in July 2006. Specifically, more than 8 in 10 Americans say they believe in God, and 12% believe in universal spiritual higher power. Finally, the poll of scientists finds that 4 in 10 scientists, 41% say they do not believe in God.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me now?
I
That's
believe
better.
it.
Yeah,
I
I
hear you
jumped
now.
onto
How you doing,
the.
Andrew? Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah,
I was just lying down,
but in a
being
way
lazy on
that
my
doesn't
phone.
surprise me because, again,
Hey,
when
Tiger.
you add in they believe in a higher power or believe in some spiritual consciousness or something, whatever, they're really saying is they believe in God. They're just that they're not calling them specifically God. You know, and I mean, I believe in a faith system that's a little bit different than that, but not that much different. You know, I believe in Mother and Father God, but I recognize that not everyone else does. And that's one of the
Okay, so basically, let's see what among scientists. Okay, we're gonna see what the percentages of religious and atheists and agnostics. Okay, so 16% of scientists are Protestant, 10% are Catholic, 8% Jewish, 17% atheist, 11% agnostic, 20% nothing in particular, 4% don't know, refuse to participate, 10% other religion, and 4% evangelistic Protestant.
okay.
So basically, that's 20% Protestant, 10% Jewish, 8%. I'm sorry, 8% Jewish, 10% Catholic, and the rest. I think you got 22% agnostic atheist.
Good morning, David.
It's-
How are you doing today? Good morning.
It's very different over there from my experiences, obviously being from both sides of the pond.
Yeah.
But in Europe, there is much more of a socialist nature, if that makes sense, compared to the US, you know. And it's getting much more that way. It's getting much more to the left than I've ever seen in my lifetime. And it scares me a little bit.
I'm just trying to
And a
get...
lot of that's, and there's people wanting to tear down churches, mosques, things that have been in Europe for
They're saying about
hundreds of
40% of Western Europeans, scientists, believe in religion or some sort of religious affiliation. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but that's what they're saying. But do they mean it? Are they just saying it for some sort of poll or something?
Yeah, so I guess they want to. I guess they want to say that, hey, listen, you can have your beliefs, and this is what we know, but these are the people who are giving you the information, and they're Christians. You know, I think it's a very powerful statement. They're either Christians, Muslims,
a
or
little
Jews.
bit of air quotes in the air, I would say.
Well, I mean, like I asked you before, I said, "What do you think you are?" You said, "Atheist." And there's 3 different kinds. Like, what are you? I don't know. It's just very telling about people what they believe.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just simply don't believe there is some sort of creator that did all this.
Like, it's totally off the table for you, right? Because again, it's 3 different.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
So I guess that's kind of like agnostic.
I don't know.
Ghosts don't exist.
It's just not something I would find it weird for people to think that.
Well, Red,
So if science came out and said they proved it, would you believe it?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, so then you're not like.
So I would say you are an atheist because you're saying, "Show me the money, show me the food." You're atheist in the sense that says, "If I can see evidence is proven correct,
so it's
then
not off the
an
table
atheist.
for an Andrew." Yeah.
Right.
He's just waiting for
Christian, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. Okay.
There's
3 different kinds. Andrew's the one that believes that there's
100% perfectly fine. I get it. I understand that. You know, because he's based on fact. He's like, show me the evidence, show me the scientific research that shows God exists, and I'll believe God exists. I understand
don't believe
that.
in lying to your kids either. That's the worst thing ever. Even with mine, I never lied to them. You know, I just says, "Well, don't know. Ask her." Well, at the time.
Yeah.
According, if you ask Google what is the probability that God exists, all of this accumulates in the final 67% probability of God's existence using Unwin's UNWIN calculation. The Unwin's calculation. The book makes for a wonderful thought experiment and provides fodder for some great discussion. So I guess there's some kind of Unwin's calculation thing that scientists use, and they're saying the probability is about 67%.
Of the hyperdimensional physics.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's so. I heard this theory about how, let's say, you put a billion fucking monkeys in a room, give them typewriters. Eventually, one of them types out like a Shakespeare, right? So let's say you had like a billion universes, right? And everything's possible in the universe. And some universe, whatever, Michelle is on Sailor Moon or where the hell she's going. Yeah. Don't you think if that's true? Don't you think in one of these universes there would be an almighty creator?
Multiverse, so yeah, the different dimensional options. So yeah, there's different planets, different developments in each one, different concepts, different ideas. It's like almost based on probabilities.
Well, we already know there are other Earth-like planets on this system.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
the
universe is vast, it's huge. Just in our own dimensional plane, there's huge numbers of
Kepler. The amount of Kepler planets they have found. I'm sorry, that was never explained before. Why were the dinosaurs never explained? So I don't believe, in all that mumbo.
You don't believe in science, or?
I believe in science, but I don't believe in somebody writing a book and just saying how they feel at the time. Unless it's proven.
So you think that because a guy wrote a book about some animal being 150 million years old, you believe it?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You have to look at ourselves. Now, clearly we are descended from those. They have arms and legs, and they can...
Yeah, everything has arms and legs.
Yes, we know that, but I'm saying in terms of what they can do and what they did, we are clearly descended at some point from them.
Okay, so my question to you is, you believe some guy you never met wrote an article saying that this bone that's in a picture is 150 million years old, and why do you believe that?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at chat. Why
someone throws a bone on the table and says it's 150 million years old. You believe it?
No.
But why not? Science believes that.
Because but how do you know that? How do you know?
That's my point. You're reading an article and you're getting your beliefs off an article. You just said that the book is about someone's feelings.
Yeah, but all I'm saying about my personal experience, I don't believe it. I don't believe in any of this afterlife nonsense and stuff. Just being honest.
Well, I'll tell you what. Since archaeologists have
I'm fine.
Fossilized bones.
Quit misbehaving as well.
I mean, I would say that looking at the carbon 14 dating of these fossilized bones, can you say that they're not bones? They're certainly not rocks. So, and then you look at the age of these bones.
We didn't just come from thin air. Let's put it that way. We've evolved over the years, and that's the way it is. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, we have evolved.
You can't deny that. You can't deny it. But there's no proof of some sort of magnificent being that actually sparked that all off. We have yet to find that. Now, if people can show me that, then I'd be like, yes, okay, I believe it.
I'll say one thing. I think that, yes, we do evolve. We have evolved.
We have to.
Millions of years ago, Homo sapien Gigantopithecus, or Gigantopithecus was our great ancestor. Big guy, almost like a big giant orc, big jaws. Guess what? He was a herbivore, and he was physically stocky. But unfortunately, he did not have intelligence. He didn't have the kind of level of intelligence that later came with Homo erectus and Homo habilis.
So,
well, it's true. And then, of course, when you look at Homo habilis, the name habilis means that he was building his own habitats, and he was actually Homo erectus for the first bipedal human that was walking on two legs. Okay. And so we started to see humankind start to form into what we are today.
Yes, and eventually grunts became speech, and speech became even greater speech.
Right.
And communication became more possible. And then we go
back and look how, even at the time of Homo habilis, we were seeing them practicing burial procedures.
That's incorrect, Davocles. They definitely have.
Yeah. So it's really kind of, the thing is, so am I against evolution? Heck no. Because evidence indicates that evolution indeed did exist. Am I against the concept that we have all this patriarchal junk DNA? Oh no, we found plenty of samples of that, of the junk DNA in the genome from the patrilineal or patriarchal side, from the father side. So, did an extraterrestrial mate with the first woman?
Do I believe there is there life out there? Of course I do.
I definitely think that there were something similar to the preservers, like they mentioned in Star Trek.
We are not alone. There's no way we are alone.
Manipulated the genome of existing primates to create Homo sapien, Homo sapien neanderthalensis. I think that's what I feel. You know, I guess that'd be Homo sapien emotional. So therefore, but on a serious note, though, I definitely do see a lot of junk DNA in the patrilineal genes, the Y chromosome, particularly in the Y chromosome. There's a lot of junk DNA in the Y chromosome. I just watched the video. I just done that on YouTube a couple days ago. That they were trying to map the Y chromosome to understand all the DNA sequences because it's such an unusual chromosome, unlike the X chromosome.
Don't just eat or something.
Yeah. It's just interesting to think about. So did God manipulate the DNA of Lucy to create Homo sapien and Homo sapien neanderthalensis? Yes, I would say so. I guess the ET decided that those two, because of the bipedal nature, would be the most capable of helping to achieve the goal of whatever it is.
I am so. I have to do so much stuff later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be fucking ass with them.
Okay, the Anunnaki. Okay, let's talk about that. In a way, to early humankind, wouldn't the Anunnaki appear to be gods? Because, after all, they certainly, for even Isaac Asimov said, for anything scientists advanced enough science could appear to be as magic. Now think about that. If you have a person from an outside of the earth comes in some kind of thing, stays taking samples of your blood, urine, and other stuff, starts putting it into test tubes, mixing it up, and doing whatever he's going to do. And the next thing you know, when you give birth to a baby, the baby smarter than you.
Well, Michelle, I don't agree with that at all, because I think that is tampering with our own humanity. You know, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with IVF. I don't
agree with the process, but what I'm saying is could it have been done that way?
It could have been.
So, Michelle, carbon dating. Andrew, do you believe carbon dating is 100% accurate?
No, I don't.
No, it's not 100%.
There's no evidence of it.
It's a range of years. It's not like down to the last hour, minute, second.
Right. So, for instance, like if you're going to study carbon dating, you're trying to figure out what happened in the past, right? So you got this book from 6,000 years ago, right? That's telling you these stories of stuff that happened during that time,
right?
Like kind of like how we have news articles today, etc. Why do you believe carbon dating over a book that was written 6,000? I mean, can you find a book that's older than that about accounts that took place in history?
What's the question? Because I missed that.
The books that have accounted history books. What's the oldest history book?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the oldest history book is. Probably would be when the first was writing things down. Maybe Sumerian
Doomsday
texts.
Book, Bible. They're all old books, but they're all written by people that were living in crap times. So they're gonna write anything, and you have to bear in mind, you didn't know what was going through those people's minds when they were writing these things.
Right. So just because they wrote it doesn't mean that they saw anything.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
Right. They're just making it up.
I'm not saying
this is my point. You know, everybody who believes in science, science can only go back so far in time to prove. And then again, this is based off of another science that was proved incorrect about 300 years ago. They proved this science that took place 300 years ago as being absolutely incorrect. The data that was collected during that time was all destroyed. Again, people based their lives off of it. Was all destroyed because someone proved that science wrong, and now
how is it proved? How was it proved wrong?
Well, they assume that there was some kind of radiation blast on the planet at this time. That's what they're assuming.
No, that's conjecture.
That's what they're assuming. That's how they prove this guy wrong.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that proof, to be fair. But if you want to see something, you can see anything. It's like Wikipedia. You can put anything on Wikipedia.
My point, Andrew, is that someone puts a bone on a table and tells you that thing is 150 million years old.
Yeah.
And you're going to believe it.
I don't know, because like you said, carbon dating can also be wrong for another reason. Take a look at the shredded earth, for example.
Of course, I wouldn't believe it, but I would say, how do you know? You have to ask.
Because someone's telling you. Someone wrote a thesis on it and said, "This is what this is," and I'm presenting it to you. A bunch of men agreed with it, and now, boom, Andrew, it's on your table, and we declare that 150 million years old. Do you believe it?
No.
Okay, and why?
Because I don't believe you can do that.
Okay.
How can you be so accurate, and how can you know so much about something like that?
Well, I mean, you go to the doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of doctors do you go to?
Not very often, but you don't see doctors nowadays in this country. So that's
I mean, doctors have been around for a while, right? So why do you believe the doctor of today? Would you believe a doctor from 300 years ago? 400 years ago?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh.
Not at all.
So then why do you believe the ones of today?
I don't believe the ones of today either. That's the thing.
Show with Billy Carson about
because I think a lot of them talk so much shit.
1937, Billy had a lot of the source material of the Bible. Yeah.
I certainly would be against putting religion into any sort of form of education because it's wrong. It's completely wrong.
What about form of life? Like, so for instance, you live in the UK or Ireland?
Hmm?
Do you live in the UK or Ireland?
I live in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that was ever applied to any of the laws in the UK?
No, but it's starting to creep
No.
in now to a different extent. And that would be a
So
whole new tangent of which I wouldn't want Michelle to deal with because it could, cause trouble.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up. Laws in the UK based on Christianity.
Well, it's basically Londonistan now. We're basically overrun by Muslims now in this country. We have a Muslim governor in Scotland who actually rules the country. We've got a Sikh prime minister.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell has went wrong? And I don't like these people at all for their beliefs. And Michelle, it's no secret. Me and you have discussed it before. I mean,
What is the Church of England?
it's pretty much non-existent nowadays, mate.
Okay, what is it?
The Church of England was basically established as
Henry VIII.
the church. The mainstay of a lot of decision making for the
Lawmaking
country.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, the reason why you live the way you do now, right, is because Christianity.
Yes.
Okay, so what you said was incorrect.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
What's happened now is I wasn't around when that was taking
Right,
place.
but you're benefiting from it. And you don't give thanks to it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, because they're not fighting back, are they?
Well, you're not supposed to as Christian. You're supposed to make things better. You're supposed to convince people that hey, listen, you're not supposed to kill anyone.
That's not what I'm saying
Well,
either.
make sure you understand one thing. When the Church of England was created by Henry VIII, it was in protest
The who
to the
himself,
Pope.
Michelle, just say it.
But it still was a core tenet of the teachings of the people of the UK. That's what it was called, the Church of England, because it was a government organ or instituted state religion.
Michelle, I sent you a video on Discord, I'll send to the main page, how the UK used to actually look and be, and it was white, it was clean, it was nice, and now you would not recognize it. It is a disgusting cesspit.
Oh yeah, you talk about the cities now? Yeah, oh definitely. It's just like American cities.
They even come to the villages, Michelle.
Yeah.
That even these Syrians and Afghanistans, they're even coming to the villages now. And I know it sounds racist, but hey ho, call me a racist. I'm not scared anymore because that's what they try to do, Michelle. They try to silence you.
I know you are.
They try to say, "Oh, you're a terrible person for thinking like that." No, I'm not a terrible person. I love people of any color, of any creed, as long as you don't overinflate a little tiny island.
And you guys in the UK are having the same problem that we are in the United States with the migrants
Michelle, we've
coming
been having this for 40 years. This is not a new thing.
I know it's not a new thing. I know it's not.
Slowly by slowly, they're coming in their thousands now. I mean, you can't walk down a main street, and especially where I live now, you can't walk down without seeing a black face, a Syrian, somebody with a turban on their head or something like that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Integration is a good idea, but it does not work.
Yeah. Well, it's the same problem with the United States right now. We're having the same issue with all the illegals coming in, and even some of the legals coming in, that are overrunning our society. They want to do things like Sharia law. They want to use their legal system in our country.
Michelle, if you're under Sharia law, you wouldn't be speaking right now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It's and never mind, the culture doesn't exactly dovetail nicely with the Western culture.
Oh, Tiger, it's horrible. I mean, I don't hate. I mean, we're all Europeans. Well, me and Tiger are, but the Polish influx went too far. It went too far.
Yeah.
Now it's every man for themselves. And now look what's happening now in the middle of our own.
Do you believe in the right to practice any religion you want? Do you think that people that practice religion should be persecuted?
No, of course not.
Do you know that's a law in the UK? You can't persecute someone based on their religion.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Do you know where that came from? Do you agree with it?
I don't agree with it.
It was a law that was written in 1688 by the Church of England, basically stating because of the Bible, God didn't segregate people from knowing Him, and they weren't supposed to be persecuted based on the principles of Jesus Christ. So therefore, we don't do that. You don't do that. We don't do that. And unfortunately, other people do it because of their religious practices. But as far as religion shouldn't have anything to do with government and your life, you're reaping the benefits right now. So, for instance, if someone didn't want you being atheist or agnostic, they could have killed you if it wasn't for the Church of England in 1688.
It depends on where
no, it doesn't depend. You would have been.
Yes, it does. Yes,
you
it
would
does.
have. You would have been put in jail. You would have been put in jail, just like they do in Russia. You know, they would have been put in jail, and you would have been probably put in a camp or something.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you ever went to an Islamic country and you are not a Muslim and you don't believe in the teachings of Sharia law, oh my God, yeah, you could be.
Yeah, Michelle, we'd all be dead. Even you, Dave, you'd be dead. You'd be beheaded.
Yeah.
They would love me there.
You know?
They would love me.
To be beheaded, you definitely would be dead. They don't tolerate that. You know, they're very intolerant of anybody that doesn't believe in their doctrine.
But the problem we have, these guys are just next door. They're not just like where you guys are, like thousands of miles away. These guys are literally next door.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been next door forever, and they keep coming over. And
let me ask you a question: Are they more dangerous because they're Christians or they're not Christians?
It's because they're Muslim, and they have Al Qaeda and ISIS.
Because they're not Christian.
Hello, welcome on Wire.
We know that.
First season says this is 2024 noodles. Give it the program. It's not like the 1800s anymore.
Well, I mean, you guys, you dismiss this stuff, but you're all reaping the benefits of people who are Christian, who had Christian values. The reason why any of you women out there can vote were because of Christians. Telling you.
Remember,
white male Christians, to be honest with you.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
It depends.
Who do you think allowed any of this stuff?
Actually, women.
You think it was atheists?
Actually, Andrew's trying to say something. Go ahead, Andrew.
Fought for that themselves.
No, how did they fight for it? They were given it. They were given it. There's a lot of people that fought for stuff and never got anything because they weren't given it. Like we had a fight. We had a fight for independence from England. That's different from what they did to what people actually had to do to fight to get away from stuff.
Okay, so you look at Saudi
like
Arabia,
slavery.
like that. What are they going to do to get their rights?
Well, Andrew, my point is that not everybody is Christian. Not everyone has Christian values. But for instance, let's put it to you this way: if everyone was a true Christian or a true Muslim or whatever, and they followed the teachings of whoever, do you think we would have nuclear bombs, dude? Do you think we would have like all this terrible shit? The only reason why we have any compassion in the world is because of organized religions. I'm telling you. That's it. And what happens is evil people get their hands on it and use it.
You're probably right. You're
By the
probably
way,
right.
here's an interesting piece of history that you may or may not remember. At one time, and I'm sure this is true outside the United States as well, the Catholics and the Protestants didn't always like each other. And I'm not talking just about the Ireland.
Oh,
okay?
Michelle, don't even mention that. Ireland's like the blueprint for that.
Yeah, but it would also existed in America too. Unfortunately, if you were Protestant, you were taught not to like Catholics. If you were a Protestant employer, you had Catholic employees. You treated them differently than you did your Protestant counterparts.
Well, if Irish people weren't so disgusting, Michelle, there would have been no problems between the Protestants and the Catholics.
That's not nothing to do with it, Michelle. And I think he's just joking.
Yeah. China has always wanted to invade America, says David. Oh, maybe that's true. But that's because they see America as the land of space. Yet they got all these
I don't
ghost
believe
cities.
that about China wanting to invade.
But China
America.
has all these ghost cities.
China don't have the capability
space. The
to
problem
invade
is that they don't know how to best utilize that space.
Get over here, sneaker.
So does Russia want to invade the U.S. as well? Putin wants
they could
Alaska
possibly
back.
by the Alaska route. Yeah.
That's actually was something back at the time of Trump. Actually, that's what kind of when it started being brought up. But I remember originally why they sold us Alaska in the first place was because that number one, it was across the Great Bering Strait. It was too far. It was too much hard to maintain it, and they just that there really wasn't anything there in Alaska for the Russian people to use until we discovered oil. Now they want it back because now they can use the oil as part of their oil industry. Though, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen unless you want to buy it back from us. So what you sold to us for, you're going to pay that plus the inflationary rate. You want to buy that back for a couple, was it, $1 billion? Because all the gross domestic product of Alaska. Maybe the United States right now, which is self-involved in debt, maybe they might go, now, okay, I'll sell you Alaska for $2 trillion. So we can build more welcoming centers for illegals. That sounds like something you would do. Oh, yeah, unfortunately. Right. Catherine the Great said Alaska. Yeah. But what Alaska's got is it's got the oil. And for Russia, oil was a major economic factor, the black gold. Well, people can certainly buy gold. I mean, we can certainly sell oil. We can certainly sell, Alaska to other countries. Maybe Texas might want to offer itself. Maybe Texas could say to America, "Hey, give us a severance package. We'll leave the United States completely, and then you can have your own thing and deal with your own border between us and you." Okay, we want like a couple $1 billion, and then we'll leave. Give us a severance package, do our Article 50, and boom, we're out of here with Texas And I don't know what America would say if Texas did, because Texas does have it in their books. They can do an Article 50. If Texas does that, secession, I don't know how America would feel about that. But it does exist in the Constitution that they can secede from the Union. Right through Canada if they really want to. Of course they could. In fact, in World War II, there were Russian soldiers coming into Alaska. They were quite capable of coming in World War II. That's why we had those men and women up there in Alaska patrolling the border, the ocean waves, watching out for Russians and the Japanese, especially the Russians. They wanted to make sure that there wasn't an invasion. And so it was these volunteers had to help keep Alaska safe, which goes to the front lines in World War II. Most people don't realize that. Just like in the California, Los Angeles area was on the front lines against the Japanese. So a bunch of people in Canada want to be part of the USA, so does Puerto Rico and Haiti. Yeah, Puerto Rico is a territory. Yeah, there were several votes that overall they kept not getting the majority vote to join as a state of Puerto Rico. Haiti, I don't really think we could take on Haiti. Haiti is a little bit too far away. It's not even a territory. Haiti's been done for years. It's poor. It's stick a fork in it. It's done. It's finished. It's not. I mean, the Dominican Republic I hear is a lot nicer, but even they struggle too. But as far as Canadians wanting to be part of America, yeah. In fact, here's the thing I found out. This is, I'm not sure exactly how this works in history. They say that at the time of the Civil War, Canada was kind of went to its own way separately from the United States or something like that. It was like, what? They had their Independence Day in the 1840s, 1850s. When did Canada ever thought about being part of the United States? I don't get that part. I will have to go back and brush up my history. But that sounds interesting, though. Think about it. Considering that it's the southern part of Canada that is the most populated. The northern part of Canada there's a lot of smaller towns and communities. I wouldn't say a bunch of Canadians want to be part of the U.S. I mean, it's very low percentage. Yeah, well, a handful. 2%. How many Americans want to become Canadians? Let's flip the tables around. What does Canada have that some Americans like? I don't know. I always see them as equal. I never saw them any better or any worse than us. So imagine if Teddy Roosevelt made Cuba as a territory. Then we would not have had Castro commies on our back porch in the Bay of Pigs. Maybe, but then maybe we may still have had it. Because, again, in alternative history, you gotta look at, this is what alternative historical fiction is based upon, is what if. What if this circumstance happened? What would we be today? If Cuba was part of a territory of the United States, would we be much different? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Cuba certainly would be economically a lot better off. Second of all, Cuba would be using a standardized electrical voltage of 120 volts at 60 cycles. Right now, part of Cuba is 240 and part of it's 120 at 60 cycles. Cuba's quality of life would have been much better, but there would probably be some people that would have still said that Cuba should remain its own independent, sovereign self. So, yeah. But then you look at what's going on in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, which is a territory, you got the vote that comes up every so often to join in as a state. And you got more and more considering it. But for a long time, the Puerto Rican people were like, no, we want to remain a territory because we get certain rights as a territory that we don't get as a state.
Michelle, there's an article out of Arizona saying Canadians come to America for better health care. They come to Arizona for 6 months every winter and get their medical care here, where the wait time is shorter. In response to Ontario Premier Kathleen Wayne, whatever, if it is such a great system, then why are doctors' offices and hospitals here in the Phoenix, Arizona area crowded with Canadians during snowbird season? My daughter has worked as in the medical industry for 20 years. The crowds start forming at the beginning of November when vehicles with license plates from British Columbia and Alberta begin to clog the streets of Arizona. Doctors.
I guess you could say the same thing about the National Health Service in the UK. It's kind of similar. They give you basic medical care. But if you want more than basic medical care, there's waiting lines for doctors to do more advanced medical care. And people are not patient, and then they can say, oh, I can always go for private insurance, private doctor. Yeah, and then you're going to pay out the nose for that too. But those who have the money pay. That's just the way Americans always been.
Critics of the Canadian system must deal with the fact that most Canadians support their version of Medicare. The single most important defense of medical care delivery in Canada is that it works relatively well.
Same thing with the national health system in the UK. It works pretty well. You get basic care.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Americans, especially low-income people in America, can't even get that. Basic care in the United States is very hard to get because it's not considered a right. Where in the UK and Canada, basic health care is considered a fundamental right. And the reason we Americans don't believe in that is because we want to live free. We want to be able to make our own choices. Oh, okay, it's fine. So I guess that means if you want to live walking around with bad health, bad teeth, bad eyes, bad hearing, that's your thing. Fine. Whereas in other countries where basic health care is provided, it may not be the most advanced care in the world. It's certainly not going to be with the most diagnostic tools. But when you go into a hospital or doctor's office or clinic, you're going to get at least the significant issues dealt with. Like, health issues like colds, diseases, injuries. So, yeah, that's what it is. So when they come to the United States, they say, no, America's got the most advanced care. Yeah, it is the most advanced, but the most expensive. Because
that makes sense, though, right?
It is. It is expensive. Canada owns 12 million acres in the U.S. Most of it is farmland. Right. Poor people need to pick up the slack and try harder. Well, but again, if you got illegal migrants coming in and stealing your job, how are you going to pick up the slack? You need work. Okay, if you don't have a job, how can you pick up the slack? When you're competing against a guy that comes in across the Rio Grande and basically is wanting to do the job that you want to do for 10% less than you and is willing to work longer hours than you, and you can't say that you're not trying to pick up the slack, but when you're being undercut, are you going to pick up the slack. You can't. Nick is not get free shit for life. Unfortunately, that's what the American dream has become now. Especially if you're illegal. You're coming in here, you get free credit cards, you get free medical, you get free doctors, you get free. That's right. The original concept, what American concept was, is that you work hard, try hard, focus hard, you can do it. But when you're competing against a person that wants free, guess who the employer's going to take? The one that's willing to work for less money. And that means that it's because they're illegal, they don't have to worry about the minimum wage, they don't have to deal with the minimum requirements. They'll just hire them off the street and boom, they have jobs and they're happy, they can pay send home to the mom and dads in their homeland. It's crazy. It is crazy. The illegals are not stealing the jobs, it is robots. Yeah, that's true. Automation is indeed another sense of what's stealing the jobs. So right now, the illegals are finding themselves also out of a job because robots can do the jobs nowadays for a lot less. Robots don't need holidays. Robots don't need anything more than electricity or energy. They don't need sick days. They don't need raises. Just give me a couple kilowatt hours, please, and I'll be happy. That's what the robots say. Oh, yeah, I know Google AI is watching me. What do you think they do? What do you think I get limited at? No ads every morning. Of course they're watching me. And then the human examiners go, you know what? She's got a valid point. Yeah. I don't know why I said there is a reason why Canadians have higher life expectancy than Americans. Basic healthcare is a big part of that. You bet it is. 100%. 100%. Basic healthcare is indeed a major part of that. It ain't Cadillac care, but if you can at least make sure that people are getting the basics they need, they're going to live long and prosper. They're going to live long and prosper. Unlike America, where if you can't afford insurance, you're going to live short and suffer.
Michelle, are you so in New Jersey? This is a pretty big deal in New Jersey.
Okay.
There was a training firm that was hired by the state of New Jersey to train police officers how to conduct searches and seizures. And what happened was, they're not really saying why, but the company has now claimed for bankruptcy, blames New Jersey for they're being investigated, etc. So now New Jersey is scrambling to find out which cops had taken that course. So there was a case here where a guy got caught with, I think, like 30-something pounds of heroin in his car. You know, they found it in his car. He was transporting it out to Pennsylvania from Manhattan, or vice versa. Right? The cop that pulled him over and conducted the search, when they went to court, the lawyer had brought up that this guy had attended this course, and that's why his client's car was searched, and it was based off of something that was taught to him that wasn't supposed to be taught to him. Blah blah blah. There's an investigation. The guy got off.
Oh, really?
So now, if you get in trouble in the state of New Jersey, you find out that cop had went to that firm to get trained. You could bring that into court and say, listen, this case against me is invalid because you trained this cop to do something that was against the law, and these people are responsible for it. People are getting off of cases now in New Jersey.
Hold on. All right, so let me see if we got this straight. This organization, they train these police to do what they do, a search and seizure. Okay?
Right.
So these officers were trained under contract with the state of New Jersey for police purposes to learn how to do search and seizure suspicious people.
Right. So, for
Okay.
instance, if
All
you're
right, so
if, let's
now I
say
got that.
you're part of a department,
So
and you
this
have, let's say you're a
guy
sergeant, they
pulls
send
over
you
this
down
guy that he suspects is doing something nasty. Does a search and seizure, confirms this guy has got 30 pounds of unwanted stuff in his car. Prosecutes this guy, cuffs some stuff, sends him to court, and then they saying that the cop is being improper because
Yes, because he was trained improperly, and the whole thing was messed
How
up.
was he trained improperly? The state of
I
New
guess
Jersey.
so. For instance, the state of New Jersey puts you through the training academy, right? To go through for police academy.
Right.
They're giving you a voucher saying that you are able to conduct searches, seizures, blah blah blah. All right.
Right.
The state of New Jersey stands behind it. Whatever. This firm that is going into bankruptcy. The state of New Jersey is basically saying, no, you guys are wrong. This is unacceptable, and they find them fraudulent. So now, when these cops are conducting searches and seizures that were taught by this firm that the state of New Jersey gave the thumb, they have no right to do that now. So now you got a big problem. Like people are getting out of drug busts across the state of New Jersey. Yeah.
Just because it's like saying if I went to college and then my college goes out of business, that my degree is now a piece of toilet paper. Even though I actually was properly trained with my degree. Now, that doesn't make any sense. You need to have some kind
of paperwork saying you were trained.
Since they were hired by the state of New Jersey to train the police.
Right. In the state of New Jersey, this company is now under investigation for some kind of practice. They're not really saying what it is. I think it has something to do with the ACLU. There was a video that was put out, and it was kind of like it was the practices were they weren't racist, but they were kind of like insensitive. And the state of New Jersey saw it and was like, no, we're not doing this. They basically took all their money back, and they said, so the company claims bankruptcy.
Okay.
Now, all these officers that were trained under this company, they're not trained anymore. They can't conduct these things. So if they did conduct them underneath this training, it's invalid. It's an illegal search and seizure or conduction of search and seizure.
So what do you think about this?
Fuck New Jersey. New Jersey does this shit. They make things so fucking complicated in the state. You walk out of your house in New Jersey, guaranteed you're breaking some kind of law.
Yeah.
Because they make everything so freaking complicated, and now they're getting eaten by their own shit. And I'm telling you, a guy walks away from a trial, right? Can't convict him, nothing, because a cop, right, who was doing his job, that his chief sent him to go do this thing. He's not okay to do it anymore. It's crazy. 30 pounds of heroin. Yeah. That's a lot of heroin.
Yeah, I just, so it sounds like you said, New Jersey's complicating things because I think they're trying to back away and say, well, you know what, we decided we're not going to do that. So that doesn't make any sense. That means that they're saying is that all the training that we paid for is now no longer considered good, even though it maybe then was a proper training. It doesn't. I don't know. That gives me a headache just trying to figure out the logic here.
But the reason why I know about it is because it happened to my friend who was a prosecutor, and he lost the case. He lost a pretty big case because he attended that class. And it's probably happening all over New Jersey now. If these lawyers know about it, and New Jersey's scrambling to get these guys back into training, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's like a free-for-all now.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it definitely is. Sounds like these states can't make up their mind. I mean, did the organization, for example, did they train the officers wrong?
Insensitively, that's what they're saying. So, Street Cop is the police training company under investigation for controversial conference it hosted in Atlantic City in 2021 has declared bankruptcy. One day after he said the state attorney general office warned him it would seek monetary penalties as part of its probe into a street cop conference, the state comptroller officer said, blah, blah, blah. It glorified violence, encouraged insubordination, and promoted unconstitutional policing tactics. And now they're saying that if you got a certificate to do this, the state is not granting you the okay to do this anymore. It's illegal for these cops to now do search and seizures. They're not authenticated to do it because they took this course that is basically declared unconstitutional, promotes insubordinance, and glorified violence.
Oh boy. That's enough. That's enough to make my head explode when you get into this kind of legal mumbo jumbo, and that's what it is. It's legal mumbo jumbo. How long was this organization under contract with the state of New Jersey? How many years?
So since 2021. So I don't know how many cops went to these conferences, and if they had anything to do with these conferences, you were under scrutiny, you're under investigation for any kind of arrest that you've made since. There's going to be a big problem. That's all I'm saying. These lawyers know it, and they're going to bring it up. And if they're going to say, hey, my client was arrested by this guy at this time, there are people that might be freed from jail for committing heinous crimes.
Right now, I think New Jersey's got enough problems. I don't think they need to free more people from jail.
I don't know. I mean, if you get a good lawyer,
Hell, you don't even need a good lawyer from it. Sounds like you can hire someone like my cousin Vinny. You can very get off. Oh boy. I don't know. This country the world in general has gone to shit. You know that. I know it. Even the most Homer Simpson of all of us knows that this world has gone to shit. It doesn't matter. We gotta find a way to start shoveling the shit into the cesspits. Come on, guys. We gotta do better than this. This country needs to turn on its thinking cap and start thinking the solutions out. I mean, this has almost become comical in some ways, and also very terrifying in other ways too. Well, guys, it is 12:28. Noodles, thank you for coming on. Andrew, thank you for coming on earlier too. This is, the kind of stuff that we do cover in the show, but we also, I'm sorry about last night, we didn't get into the fun stuff last night other than the documentary. Let me explain why. First of all, I will suggest that Michelle, not everybody here has seen the documentary. And I said, yeah, that's true. Not everyone has. The new people that have come into the channel come in by word of mouth. They don't know anything but the documentary. And I was right. Avoit never saw the documentary. She had no idea what the documentary was about. And so, therefore, for Avoid, she was totally surprised to learn so much more about me from the documentary. So, that was a good thing. We're going to try the restream version of StreamYards. And that's still something I'm going to do. But I got to set a few things up. As when Noodles tried it. For example, when he tried to send some videos over, like the cattails clip and stuff, and the thing froze up. I'm seeing some of that too, even when I'm trying to upload pieces to the site. For example, the intro screen that you'll see, the new one, is not necessarily playing in its entirety. And so I gotta find out what's going on with that. So obviously I can't control their software side. So I'm just gonna try to see if I can understand it, because it's web based. Maybe it doesn't like Google Chrome. It might be a possibility. Maybe we don't like Google Chrome. because Google Chrome may not be what it's best optimized for. So, but unfortunately, for people with hearing loss, you need the captions. And I cannot stress enough that while Google Chrome is nice for that, it's the only thing that's really redeeming it is the closed caption software. If you don't have the open captions, closed captions, whatever you call it, you're screwed. So yeah, we got to figure that out. It's confusing as it is, and because of your on meds forever, right? Okay, you're talking about medications and big pharma. Oh my goodness! But hello, how you doing, PDX? Welcome to the show. I'm doing okay. By the way, coming up in a couple of days, because we're almost out of the T-Mobile internet box has pretty much used up almost all our bandwidth. We're going to be streaming for 640 by 360 for a few days because of the fact is that we're using so much data on the streaming box that we're going to have to, for right now, until they refill the account. We got about 33. We got about, when they first went live this morning, we had 33 gigabytes free. Each hour is about a gigabyte. So that means that it takes you about 1.2 gigabytes. So about 3 hour show is 3.6 gigabytes. So which means that's 10 shows. There's still 18 days left to the next billing cycle. So we'll be streaming at 640 by 360 for a few days because of that reason. So if you wonder why your picture looks like shit, then you know why. Because we don't have enough data to spare. The streaming at 640 by 360 is probably not a problem with Frontier. That's what we'll have to do. So she said, so Red says some meds stop working. Then those other meds they put you on can do worse things. Some meds are not intended for long-term usage. Simvastatins, Plavix, and several other medications are meant for short-term use, not for long-term. That's all I'm going to say. Tiger Creek said, MicheleMarieDalene, after this, can we meet me in Discord? Yes, I can. 99% of cancer treatment research is about treatments, not curing it. Yeah. Alright guys, so for tomorrow we will be streaming at 640 by 360 because I gotta ration my data bits because from the T-Mobile because we really used a lot of the data this month and we're fire hose and everything, so we gotta try to cut back on the bits. But I want to say thank you everybody for being here today. I appreciate you being here. And I'll see you all on Sunday night tomorrow night with Silver Moon Radio AM 1610. So for now, go out there and be excellent to one another. And I'll see you all tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Silver Moon Radio on Kick. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.